Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be looking at a scenario of what if WICSO's France formed an empire. Now, this guy's been around for quite a while, and more recently they haven't been doing much in the series. Of course, the series is ended now, so we can't see any more of these guys, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what this France would be able to form out of an empire on this WICSO map, especially given that the Dutch are here. I wonder how they would navigate around that. So yeah, let's jump right on into this video. But first, I do want to say that I've been trying to do all these videos in one take. So if you hear me mess up, then yeah, that's gonna stay in. The reason for this is so I don't have to spend as much time working on edits, and more so I can spend time actually recording, which allows me to upload twice a day. It also allows me to have more fun while recording, because I don't have to dread spending 50 years editing it. You know? Anyways, let's jump right on into this video, because the French have already scouted out their first target, which is a pretty obvious one, because this thing exists. Yeah, who's gonna tell this thing that it's okay? Yeah, you're gone, and you know what? My mouse just wants me to. We're invading into this guy as well. I don't know what's going on with the colors, but yeah, these two, they're just gonna, yeah. They're technically already French in the entire series except for a few episodes, which I think the middle guy here only existed for 5 episodes max. I forget how long it was, but it was not that long at all. But now they are gone, both of them. And France, I think, is having the borders they had in episode maybe 80. I don't know. I can't remember these borders. They are familiar, but I don't remember where they're from. From here, though, they're going to be targeting Catalonia, a pretty important country historically, but modernly, they're kind of similar to how Portugal is poorer than a lot of the countries that they released, or actually maybe just Brazil, because I don't think Angola or Mozambique have anything on Portugal. But yeah, from here, we're going to see Catalonia getting absolutely destroyed. And yeah, what I was basically trying to say is countries like Portugal, modern day, are just nowhere close to as strong as compared to other powers at the time the Portuguese Empire was, because yeah, they're strong. Anyways, from here, the French have monopolized on Mediterranean coast, and they want to keep monopolizing on Mediterranean coast as this thing exists. France is one of the countries that divided this thing in the Cold War era, and this guy is kind of just getting the bad side of history. They've existed one too many times, and in a way, they're kind of a Poland of the universe. And so far, France has kind of just been going around fully annexing countries. That's going to stop now because two countries are kind of upset about this, and those two countries are Galicia and Andalusia. Now, I forgot to enable these earlier, but the major military bases, major cities, and ports we can also enable. And I do want to say, because I have been forgetting to say this, any major city that's just on the water probably has a port in it, including many of these capitals, which don't look like they're touching the sea. They might just be larger and they could be touching the sea, like the English and Dutch capitals. They definitely have ports in them. The Irish one definitely does. The Norwegian one definitely does. Denmark's probably does. Iceland's is a little too inward, inward. The West African capitals definitely like that. I feel like I just should have explained that some earlier time, and then I just didn't. But yeah, from here, we actually talk about France again, because Galicia and Andalusia will try to stop this thing, and they're going to declare war on it. So yeah, forces from both of these two countries begin to push in. Andalusian forces will immediately take land that was part of Catalonia and also the Balearic Islands, and Galician forces will begin to push into land that is just French land, and it has been for the entire video. But yeah, they're gonna gain a lot of land off the bat, and this is because these two are pretty powerful. But the French, they're gonna be buffed in this scenario, so they're gonna be able to take on these two. More specifically, they're gonna target the Galicians as they are kind of priority because they're definitely weaker, And yeah, they're just gonna absolutely destroy them and begin to push. And yeah, eventually the Galicians will lose all this land here, to where we're gonna see the Dark Side team kind of just focusing on this Catalan coast in hopes that the Galicians can survive long enough to where they can deal enough damage to France to where they have to refocus. But unfortunately, just for this one scenario, Galicia is gonna be incompetent. They're gonna lose their main areas in the north coast here. And yeah, that's kind of it, as this whole area will basically just fall over. And yeah, you're gonna back out of the war. From here, French forces will begin to just move southward, and that's gonna kind of force these guys to reorganize. And from here, they're just gonna form a defensive, because yeah. A few months later, we're going to see them getting kicked out of the Balearic Islands. And a little bit after that, they will go ahead and sign peace because they don't want to lose any land. And they won't be losing any land. They're going to just stay the same. Who will be losing land, though, however, is poor Galicia. Like, I swear, this country is always getting bullied, either by me or in the actual show, because this thing is it's like so sad. It's always getting obliterated. Got obliterated. I'm struggling with my episodes, but it got obliterated after World War III. It got obliterated during World War IV. It's just it's had a bad time, and I feel bad for it. Anyways, from here we're gonna see France annexing all this land out of them, but they do get to keep all this land that was occupied, so at least they're still alive. And yeah, this is what the French Empire is now looking like. And I'm realizing now that I've been doing things really fast. We're only 7 minutes into the recording, and usually these videos are about 20 minutes long. So how's about we slow down? Now at this point, France is probably about as strong as the Dutch, excluding the buff. And yeah, they're gonna want to try to change that because they want to be much stronger than the Dutch. And so they're gonna target basically the only country they can target, and that is this guy here. And they're gonna begin to invade in because this coastline is very valuable, as it has these 5 major ports and a whole bunch of major military bases and a major city. So they want that. And very quickly, they're gonna take exactly that. From here, this country will just kind of accept peace deals, or a peace deal, because yeah, France doesn't want to take over the whole thing because that would probably be a little too much to administer. And instead, they want to just kind of take the coastal region here, in which they will just kind of do pretty unopposed. But yeah, France will be annexing that little coastal island here, and all this land here. It's kind of weird to look at over in this area what the border actually looks like, but they have all these ports. I tried to make it look that way, but I kind of failed. And from here, French naval assets will begin to move into the Mediterranean over to you. And we're not even going to cover a war here. We're going to see Corsica falling over relatively easily to Roman. Roman, this is not your video, Rome. Well, why are you popping in my head? They're going to fall over to French forces. There we go. Anyways, from here, there really is one option. The French will declare war on the Dutch. Actually, it's the other way around because the Dutch want to stop this thing, and they feel like they can really only do one thing to stop it, and that is by getting the jump on them and attacking first, which will prove to be a very good strategy at first because they will just begin to occupy a whole bunch of land. They take this land that they literally just took over here, they take this major city here, and they begin to push down towards the capital. Fortunately, however, who's usually winning at the beginning of the war never usually wins in the end. However, they will still continue to advance, taking lands in Brittany and also this area over here. And of course, this is Francis' video, so yeah, they're going to begin to fight back. More specifically, any area that's not in the western coastline area is easily going to be won back by the French because they aren't focusing on this area because they know it's going to be the hardest to get back. So they just focus on this area. And from here, they're just gonna begin to invade into Dutch territory, as it's probably easier than taking back their own. And at this point, they're gonna see a lot of success in the Far East, as this area is under defended due to it being in the Alps. And from here, the major military belt stretching across this region of the southern Dutch territory is under threat. Now, I do want to add an explanation for why there's a huge belt of military bases here. This is kind of referencing history. There would probably be a whole bunch of these military bases, not in the Alps, but as close as possible to the border of the uh, Romans back when they had a border prior to World War IV. So saying this map is like taking into account for some history, more so that kind of history. Yeah, this would happen. Of course, this is not really according to any time in the series because the map has never looked like this. But yeah, no, no matter what I said, this whole belt of military bases will fall, and the last one will be taken all the way over here in the west. From here, the Dutch can barely support their invasion into this area anymore, and they're going to have to back out of most of it. And at this point, the Dutch are, they've been proven to be weaker, and they're going to continue to fall back as French forces begin to flood into gaps in Dutch lines as they begin to fall back massively. Over in the That's not the west. Over in the east, they're going to see their worst failures as French forces kind of just move into this area and take it. From here, they kind of just begin to move up north, and very quickly, French forces begin to obliterate those of the Dutch forces. From here, they're going to wipe out a lot of the forces here, and then they're going to begin to squeeze back these guys over here in Brittany to where the Dutch will kind of just leave this area. At this point, they're going to go on the defensive, and this won't really help them because they're going to get squeezed out of the Normandy region. And at this point, the Dutch will kind of just begin to contemplate what they've been doing, and they're going to go ahead and agree to peace, and they're going to go ahead and surrender over to French forces. And this is like my worst nightmare. Why is France getting an empire? At least it's not the France of our timeline, right? Right? Oh, it isn't. Okay, phew. But now we do get to create a new border, which is not going to be favorable of the Dutch whatsoever, and it's going to be very, very French looking. And France is going to get a lot of land out of this, probably. So let's see what this new border looks like. Oh gosh, that's a lot of land. The French will be annexing a lot of the land that they had occupied, and a little more in exchange for other lands they had occupied. But yeah, the border of France now will extend up into all this territory here, which is a pretty large expansion given how big France was at the start. But yeah, France is resembling real life France. And to resemble that, they are gonna do something. They're gonna move their capital to Paris. No, we're not doing that. This is not real life France. But we will see them continuing on their quest, as now they're gonna launch an invasion into Andalusia, who they previously fought a war against. And now they want to claim what they believe to be rightfully theirs, and that is the western that's not the west, the eastern coastline of this thing. I'm good with my west and east if I'm not recording a video, but when it's just not, it just, it changes. And now I'm stuttering again. I hate that. And eventually, yeah, we're just gonna see these guys being forced into a peace deal in which they are not going to appreciate because they're probably gonna lose a lot of their valuable coastline over along the Mediterranean. And that's going to become evident as I draw on this new peace treaty with this new border. And yeah, the new border's looking something like this, which means all of this land here is now French. Yay, and there's tiny little blobs of stuff around that I have to edit. Great. But yeah, we're going to see the French annexing a lot of coastline that realistically should never be French, but I mean, you do you. From here, the French are pretty big, and I honestly don't really know what to do with this. I don't want this border. I don't want this video to be short, but I also don't want to be recording for a while. So I might kind of just make this a shorter video. I mean, with this kind of country, that's a little easier to do because, well, yeah, it's France, but yeah, I guess that will do it for this video. If you did make it this far into the video, make sure you do subscribe. It really shows how you enjoyed it. And liking the video shows that even more because if you like this video, it shows me that you like this kind of content and you would like to see more. That's all for me. And I will see you all in the next video.